Today we're going to talk about the 5 lesser known habits and behaviors that will slowly make you a 6, 7 figure copywriter. Fast, slowly, fast. Fast because, dude, you can start to apply these habits and behaviors immediately. And as the old saying goes, is be to have. So before you get the thing you want, before you get the income that you're looking for, you have to behave like that kind of person who's worthy of getting paid that much money. And slowly, because, dude, in this channel, bro, we talk about realistic crap. I don't tell you that you're going to send one email and you're going to become a millionaire, because getting rich in this industry, man, it takes an absurd amount of work and you have to be exceptional. There is no room for sloppy people. So with that being said and with that out of the way, my name is Eric and I've been in this industry for about 3-4 years already. And these are the behaviors that have allowed me to work with about 35 different 7 and 8 figure brands online and been able to keep clients for years, not just for one project or they will fire me after 1 month, but I've been able to keep them for years. In fact, one of my longest clients, I've been with them almost 4 years now, and they just crossed $100 million in revenue. And if you want to know something about brands like this, is like they have the resources and the clout and the connections to be able to replace somebody in my position with the snap of a finger, but they haven't done it. And that should tell you one thing. It's not even about like just having a client of that caliber, but it's more about like I might know what I'm talking about here. And this is the experience I want to share with you, like the lessons I've learned in the process that I want to share with you. So I have notes on my phone, so forgive me if I look away, but I have them organized on my phone and I'm gonna go off from here. So let's get to it. So the habit number 1 is, or behavior number 1, is that I've yet to find or meet one copywriter who's earning a high income or using a high earning bracket that is just a copywriter. Copywriters that make a lot of money, you can call them growth partners, you can call them agency owners, you can call them AI, whatever you want to call them. These dudes, man, are stacking skills. So it's a combination of copywriting and something else to be able to increase your income to that much. So it can be something like, I've seen people combining copywriting with media buying. So they can advertise and then write the ads themselves. Others are doing email marketing, which is not just writing emails, but it's what you will say, they know the technology behind email management softwares like ActiveCampaign, ConvertKit, or I don't remember the other one, Go High Level, which is trash. I hate Go High Level. So you see how it's a combination of skills. It's not just copywriting. So start thinking about how you can increase your skills if you want to advance in this industry. But the other option too, right, is like you might make the argument, all right, there's people who make a lot of money and they don't write copy themselves. Well, they are under the umbrella of copywriting, but they are skill stacking, right? Because they have the ability to manage people, they have the ability to hire and train copywriters. So that's why I make the argument that copywriters, the high paid ones, they just don't just write copy. So they are skill stacking. And that takes me to habit or behavior number 2. Copywriters that are high paid take more responsibility or do more than what they're paid for. And this is even more true for people who are starting out. I'm not very in touch with the marketing messages of the gurus these days, but when I was starting out, I remember that, you know, some of the ads were like empowering, right? Like they would say, dude, you just have to write 1 hour a day, send those emails, and then you clock out, go to Cancun and sip margaritas by the beach, right? And then monies will be rolling onto your bank account, and that is copywriting. And I think that some people had it that way, but what I've noticed is that if you want to be somebody who's respected, somebody who's like welcome into conversations that you have no business in, or you're kind of like are invited into partnerships or revenue sharing opportunities, or you get referrals by being around, is by being the person who takes more responsibility than they're paid for. Now, of course, take this with a grain of salt, because there is something called a scope creep, which means that when a client starts asking for more than what they pay you, right? But If you walk into a relationship, into a business relationship from the frame that you have full control of it, from the frame that you are willing to do more and you control what that more looks like, because it's the key word is that you are in control of what you give more of, right? Because doing more than what you're paid for or taking more responsibility, by that I don't mean to say that you get hired to write a VSL or a bunch of emails, for example, and then you end up becoming the customer support rep. That is not what I mean. What I mean is something along the lines of, say you, whatever project you got or even retainer, even if it's not in your business, for example, if you see that their LinkedIn account is trash, the description is not even in place, that the branding is not on point, it doesn't cost you anything. You can fix it for them, right? Or if you see that a website has a broken link or a broken page, or that maybe an old email sequence is firing incorrectly, man, say something, man, and fix it. That just shows that you're somebody who can be trusted. There is a concept that I really like in the Bible, and it's just becoming a good steward, right? And when you are faithful in the little, you will be trusted with more. And that is my philosophy with clients as well. If you get paid, right, you're trusting with little, but then you deliver more. You are just displaying characters and traits that you can be trusted with more, whether that is within that same company or that is by referring you to other business partners. Because if you're just somebody who just sends the copy and disappears, right, you don't stay to kind of like see what results your copy did, or you just vanish, man, dude, you're not gonna go far. Number 3, communication is pro level. This takes me, it was pretty much along the same lines of what I just said about, like, do not just take the money and then disappear for 2 weeks to deliver a service. Always keep people in the loop. Communication is key. Over communicate. I learned this from my mentor and friend Peter Liu. Maybe you feel free to go and watch another video I have here in the channel with him and Simon. And Peter is somebody who works with, he's mostly working with 8-figure brands now. He's running funnels, and you can pretty much put in any business and he will turn it around. That's a skill he has. And one thing he taught me is the power of communication, right? Because when you take money, for example, from a client, say you take 3K, 5K to go do your job, and you're doing your job, but you're not communicating, you're doing your job, but in the client's eyes, that person just part ways with 3, 5K, right? And in their eyes or in their mind, they're wondering, where the hell is this person? Would I just get scammed? Would I even get results? But when you're communicating, you're reaffirming that relationship, that, progress is being made, you're onboarding them, you're taking care of them, and that, like, you're going to deliver. And it is, it's about like those mental chemicals, those brain chemicals, man. Fear, right? You don't want fear associated with working with you. You don't want that. So over communicate, always let the the client know where you're at. Questions, ask the questions, bro. You want to be annoying. Of course, don't ask stupid questions like, how do I log in to here? Like, if you could figure it out yourself, figure it out. But ask questions that you have, you know what I mean? Provide ideas. Meanwhile, like I said before, over-deliver. That is the key word here. All right, number 4 is date network inside every company that they're in. So in the past, man, I used to just be the guy who would kind of like just isolate myself in a corner over there and just do my work and not connect with people. But then I noticed and I realized the power of freaking networking inside of companies like this, because most of these businesses, they are they are filled with A players, and A players are people that are almost business owners. They are entrepreneurs, very ambitious people like you and I, and they're going places, right? So they have goals, and whenever they feel like they're not growing at this particular company, they just move on to the next one, or they might get recruited by a different company. And what happens is that, for example, if you're networking with a sales guy, right? If you connect with the sales guy, if you help the sales guy within that company, dude, this sales guy goes onto a different business and becomes the sales director in another company, maybe making even more money, a business that is bigger, right? And as soon as they need somebody who with the skills that you have, Well, dude, if you network with him, if you solve problems for him, if he can trust you, you might be the person to go into that, get that deal. That happened to me about a week ago. There was somebody from operations, so pretty much like the person who would organize the business online. We just became really good friends, and then he moved on to work with legit one of the top online course creators in the space. And they had a project, bro, and I reached out to him, and he was like, "You can skip the freaking sending samples and all that. Just go to the offer of the gig, right?" While other copywriters had to send samples, had to send like references, I just freaking skip all that and went straight into the offer, and it's because he knew me. So anytime you walk into a company, dude, network with the appointment setters and other people. These are also like guys that go on to become sales guys, sales managers. So network with them, network with people who do operations, so COOs, people who do graphic design, funnel builders specifically, media buyers, because they will need copy, right? They will need marketers like you. And that is a simple, easy way to start getting the word out there about your brand. And I don't know if you're noticing, but how we are like putting everything together here, because dude, if you get into a big company, if you kind of like land a big client, I'm talking 7-8 figures, they might have 50 to 100 people in a Slack channel, right? Because they are making a bunch of money. They have people in different positions. And when you're over communicating, every time you over communicate, bro, when you post updates and stuff like that, it's legit an ad for your brand, right? Wow, that dude, the guy from marketing is freaking crushing it, man. He's on fire, providing ideas, solving problems he isn't even asked to solve. That's the kind of guy I want to refer to my clients, right? That's the whole idea here. So number 5, which is the last one, is for 6-7 figure guys. They don't think in labor, they think in outcomes. So whenever you go into a conversation, you don't talk about email writing, you don't talk about Facebook posts, you don't talk about Facebook ads, you don't talk about creating you a funnel. Those are means to an end, and you're always talking about the end. And the end is putting money in the business pocket, right? So I want you to stop thinking about, hey man, I'm an email copywriter, I'm a Facebook ads writer, I'm a VSL writer, right? Because those things are just tools you're going to be using to solve problems, and those problems are usually lack of money or lack of sales, or that the client has, the business has, and you fill in the gaps to solve those problems, right? So I'm gonna give you an example. Say that a client is created a low ticket offer. A low ticket offer, it's a product that costs $27.97, right? And one thing that they're doing is they're getting sales, but they don't have something called an abandonment cart sequence, which is a simple email sequence that it's fascinating to me that most businesses don't have in place. And if you go around to anytime you see an ad, opt in and just wait for the abandonment cart sequence or the follow-up nurture sequence to hit, and you will realize that most businesses don't have that in place, right? And if you writing an email sequence for that, you see like it's emails being used to solve a problem. The problem is that most people might not be buying the thing. So abandoned cart sequence. I don't know if I'm making sense here to you, but like emails, Facebook ads, they are just means to an end. You don't do Facebook ads, the service is what you do, but then you want to talk about in terms of what that thing does for your client, right? So do your emails overcome objections before they hop on the phone with your prospects? Because that is a very specific problem, you know? And whenever you speak in that language too, I've noticed that people take you more serious, right? You're not just a copywriter anymore. You are somebody, like you're an expert. You understand the funnel, you understand business terminology. Like, dude, if you understand what an AOV is, like an average order value of a funnel, right? And you go in and say, hey man, I know how to write ads that increase the average order value on any low ticket end product. Bro, if you say something like that, a business owner will almost guaranteed to listen to you compared to say if you say something like I write ads, right? Because you're talking about average order value, AOB, that's what you mean. And or you can say something like, hey man, I have a way to increase liquidation rates from 20% to 100%, and it doesn't require a bunch of changes on your funnel, right? Liquidation is pretty much when a company is running ads and they are selling a product on the front end. So they're selling a product to offset the cost of marketing. So they're pretty much getting paid to get clients. So as you see, man, like all these little things here, these are outcome. This is speaking in outcomes. It's not speaking in services or just the thing that you do. So I think that's about it, man. Like 5 things. Of course, there's more things, but if you keep these things in mind, start stacking skills. I don't know what those will look like for you, but for me personally, I know how to do many things. I know how to edit videos. I know how to freaking design sales funnels. I know how to what do you call this? Like I can give creative directions to editors, and but those are the things that I've acquired in the process of doing multiple unrelated things, and somehow I was able to use in this world of advertising. And again, man, whenever you listen to these videos, I want you to also have take it with a grain of salt, because the game I'm playing might be completely different to you, right? I want to learn this stuff. I want to master it. I want to, become one of the best at it. I'm not here for a quick cash grab. That's not what I am in here for. There is plenty of people who will do that, who will be in like, hey man, I will teach you how to get XYZ clients, but they don't teach you how to keep them, right? I want to be able to walk into a business and make them a client for life. I want to be able to step into doing revenue shares, right? That is the game I'm playing. And if you look around, man, copywriting is just the foundations of people that do great in life. That is one thing I've noticed, man. I want you to kind of like Google this guy named Ramit Sethi. He's the guy that wrote I Will Teach You to Be Rich. And he even has a Netflix show. And this dude was a copywriter, right? He has a copywriting course in his website. And man, it just shows you how far learning how to write copy can take you, right? Once you master all these things. There's this other guy named Mark Manson. He was a blogger, right? Which is another way to say he used to write copy for his website. And he's one of the best-selling authors now. Take a look at Dan Koh as well. Amazing writer, marketer, and he has a thriving brand. So there is where I'm heading, brothers. There is where I'm heading. I'm not here just to sell you a course and then disappear. I'm here for the long term. I'm here to show you the process, the evolution of me learning this stuff. So if you enjoy this, I know I kind of like ramble a little bit, but if you kind of like found value on this, I'm gonna drop a link in the description. It's my newsletter, and it's called I think it's the Mechanisms of Persuasion. In there, dude, we decode everything advertising. We decode behaviors like what we did today, and we decode sales letters, emails, and all that stuff. And I just show you how it works. I show you the behind the scenes. So feel free to hop in there, and we'll talk soon. Peace.